Next year is the last year of our TIF plan, and we really should be making sure we're ticking off all of the things on that list as we go up for renewal. And this is not in our plan, and it has taken an extraordinary amount of time. So I think we've learned enough that we can recommend to council a direction that they might take, and maybe next year when we do our plan, we put this in it. At the moment, I think we need to dive into what we're supposed to be doing.
Yep, I know. I just, it's disheartening that we've got 2 more years of, this being a problem.
It seems like Brian's point would be that we would obviously, it would make sense to take out some of the trees.
Well, you have to. I mean,
There's no,
just from an observation, you've got too many trees. Trees under sidewalks have to be replaced every 5 to 8 years. They don't thrive. You just create, and then you throw these bike racks out there, and hell, there's nowhere to walk. I can't tell you how many times I see people trip over those bike racks trying to get through those, get out of somebody's way. UPS can't deliver anything on these sidewalks in the summertime anyway, and then you've got trees blocking where they're trying to get out. The UPS guy's been happy this year because that tree at the loading zone's been gone, and they can actually navigate the sidewalk.
You whack it so many times.
Oh, yeah. And, God, I've seen people fall. It's, the sidewalks are too crowded. You've got too many trees. You've just got too much, and it's a maintenance nightmare, and it's costly for the city. And, it's going to be costly to fix, obviously, proven that. But, going forward, there aren't going to be less people coming here. It's just going to continue to grow here. And, as a community, we need to get together with the city and say, hey, some money needs to be spent, but let's look at this logically over time, as we've tried to do here. But there's just too much there. You don't need 10 trees in a city block. You need 6 tops, 3 on each side, equally spaced, integrated with bike racks and some other things, and put more concrete down for people to walk on.
We've got a couple of places where there are no trees, and it's just an open bed of dirt with no irrigation. So those have been, you've got one. There's one in front of Hilda. So we need to we've learned so much, and I'm really grateful we can get this particularly going into next year as we write the plan for the renewal of the TIF. We know exactly what needs to happen with this as far as what doesn't work. But I would probably suggest that without some changes that the DDA not be a part of this next year.
Matt, do you think the council would have an appetite for a private citizen coming up with a modified plan with fewer trees, as Brian said, and alternate funding?
Okay, well, that'd be fine.
Good.
We're open to almost anything.
Yay.
Especially spending less money.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep going down our list. Next up is Merchants Walkway. Thank you for that great report, Margo. Speaking of trees, it sounds like there's one disappearing behind us as we're sitting meeting here.
are we diving into Merchants Walkway before next year? I mean, are we doing?
In this calendar year?
Yeah.
You mean? No.
Yeah.
So
we need to, do we need a Merchants Walkway committee? Do we need to?
We have the Downtown Enhancement Committee that's been meeting on it. You've got some obstacles, which Margo will outline. I take it we're still awaiting quotes.
We are.
We're looking at what, 3 months now on those?
Yep.
Okay.
So yes, where we are on this is we are.
This isn't our plan, by the way.
No, these are just this is the pictures of what is current state of the Merchants Walkway. We are still awaiting quotes. I keep reaching out to people and I keep waiting. So until we get some more information. But clearly you can see from the picture that the biggest issue right now is the walkway itself. I've asked John Cups to look at some alternative ideas like stamped concrete or something like that, because the brickwork is so broken. I've also to Maxwell and then Status and Navy as well, but they're very busy and they just have not gotten any quotes back. The other issue that people keep talking about with the Merchants Walkway is the fountain, the giant pool. And is it something that should stay, go? Is it something we even just, we do the brickwork around it and we clean up the area? And then the third area that we talked about in the downtown enhancement committee was creating a cohesive landscaping plan in the area. Now, that said, we don't own, city does not own most of that space, just really the walkway, the one going up from Bay Street to the fountain, and then the surrounding area around the fountain. So we don't, most of that is an easement.
So does the city own the fountain?
Yes,
It does.
So who owns the property around that?
The property owners.
Property
The
owners.
city's got an easement for use.
So we just own that stretch going north from Bay Street to the mountain.
So Mossberg, Graham,
That's right around- that's not-
Mossberg is on the left of this photo right here, and we own that piece. But behind this, except for the fountain, that whole stretch, east and west, it belongs to the property owners with easement. So this piece of Graham on the right,
They talked about doing a landscape plan that would kind of tie it together, and then maybe offering grants to the business owners or the property owners to get involved in that, and then we would still have the problem of who maintains it and all that.
So the committee is looking at this, actually, Deanna's our expert, of course, on this, and helping with some kind of plan that we can put in place for back there. And then, as she said, look at grants to the property owners along there to see if they would want to be a part, which I think they would be based on what they've been asking us already.
I did see that they've just started accepting grant applications at the foundation for this grant cycle. So I don't know if we could get a grant from them, and then we could get, with that money, give grants to the property owners.
Well, we do have some funds
we do
also.
have funds, and I mean, I've talked with Sarah Ford extensively about what their grants, I mean, this would not usually fall under something that they would provide grant money for, but but we can get back, she and I can talk more about it, but in the last conversation, she was pretty adamant that they,
What do they like grants to go for?
nonprofits,
People
people, things like that.
versus physical.
Well, can I ask, I need to ask a question here, because I walk by this every once in a while, and I've just kind of watched it evolve this summer, and
Devolve.
nobody pulls a weed.
Nobody knows.
Nobody uses it. When I walk down there, I get stink eye looks from people going into their offices. You know, and this is just my observation, and you can tell me I'm all wet, but I don't see any benefit to doing this when the people that have access to it already don't give a damn about it. It's a parking lot, it's a trash heap, and nobody knows it's there. And I don't know what we accomplished as a board by investing a bunch of time in it. When everybody walks by it and doesn't give it a second thought. You know, I walk by it to take the dog down to walk by the water. I don't really even realize it's there unless I consciously make an effort for it. You mentioned it to people, they don't know that it's there now. I don't know what we gained. I have to agree it's an eyesore, but you know, if you've got an easement there and the property owners are responsible for it, you know, if they're not willing to pull a weed, why should we as a board and as a city invest a bunch of money to make it look better for them? They're just gonna park their cars and do the same thing they're doing with it.
The majority of the people don't know it's public.
No, well, frankly, I don't know what the benefit of that is as a public walkway anyway. It doesn't really do much for anybody. You know, I guess if you think it's gonna alleviate congestion on sidewalks, I don't think it is. It's a dead end to nowhere.
well,
And-
I think,
It's just my opinion.
that's my
It
shorter,
could be cleaned up.
that's my shorter route to the bank.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Look, there's a need for you.
There's no people. There's no people in your way.
right.
But it's,
history is just gonna repeat itself again.
Yeah.
I mean,
We'll go look
we're
at
gonna
it right
Throw
now.
some money at it.
Yeah.
It's gonna fall apart. I don't know when that was done. In
I
the
don't, does
90s,
anybody
I
know the
think.
history behind that at all?
I think Lucas, maybe Jeff and I, at one point, thinking this, we talked about it all, and I think it was was it in the late 80s that the fountain was put in?
Oh, yeah,
Does that sound right?
the first incarnation of the DDA did it, so that was probably in the 80s.
And then the brick walkway.
Is that brick walkway on the right-hand side leading up to those steps? That's currently on easement property.
Yes.
So the least we should do, if in my thinking, if we do nothing to promote this as a walkway, is at least fix that since we're the ones that did it. And,
Well, maybe we just take it out though and pave it.
well, that's what I mean. Yeah, just
But why put any money towards it? I mean,
because it's dangerous right now.
We did have a discussion about, in the enhancement committee about like, what could we do to get people to pull their weeds? And we could have like a hard approach, like the city sends a letter saying it's come to our attention that,
Yeah.
the property needs to be weeded.
the city won't do that. They won't take care of a blight in the community. They don't seem interested. Disappointingly, I'm always nagging at them about, just send a letter to somebody and
they don't have code enforcement on weeds or any kind of regulation.
they just don't seem interested in enforcing it.
Weeds, I don't.
It's a long
I don't
process.
think there, when we walked it, I don't think that there was anything specifically like a zoning violation
Right.
that Jeff could send anything out on. But
Interesting.
Grass, if your grass is too tall, that is a zoning thing, but
Right.
weeds, I don't think are.
Really?
Well, it is an eyesore
Never heard.
and
In the city.
the creation of it was us. So if we're just going to turn it back to just city property, which it is, we should at least make it safe. So if we do nothing but put a new sidewalk in and take the fountain out, and pave that area, at least it's safer.
I know Rachel,
Why would we spend our money on that? We're here to develop the downtown. Let's do something
Yeah.
positive somewhere else in the city with this money.
To get rid of that fountain, it's
And
like hell.
just leave it there. I mean, the people who are back there,
You're-
Trozak's, the
Yeah.
You're looking at
scumbag, the
25,000.
Huzzah people don't care. Mossberg blocks off the pathway with his bikes. I mean, just abandon it and take that money and let's do something positive,
I hear you.
and
Josh, what are your thoughts on this?
If if you're speaking for the city, then that's the city's problem. The DDA says, okay.
yeah, I
There you
mean,
go,
just walk
council.
away from it. 'Cause it's,
I mean,
I think we're throwing good money after bad there,
yeah.
I think there's a lot we could do promotion wise through winter time here rather than.
Can I ask a question? This is from here to here. Is about what's that, maybe 10 feet,
810.
8 to 10 feet?
12 feet.
That seems to be the most troublesome area.
It's pretty bad around the fountain. When you step out the
Oh,
walk area.
like here?
Yeah.
So do we put a gate up? I'm just being,
Won't do anything.
I think we just walk away from
Just
it.
walk away.
DPW's take on this would be, are they okay with it as it is? This is,
Well, that's the city's
It's
problem.
the city's problem. It's not our,
Yeah,
it's
that's
not the
what I'm asking.
DDA's problem. It's something for the city.
You know, the
to deal
DDA
with.
did it, but it was basically handed off to the city and they've done nothing with it. So
Right.
let them deal with it. And let's put our efforts into.
so the
Promote now
city,
doing something positive.
yeah,
the city has no problem
I mean, these kind of projects are
since
fun.
we were the ones that originally put it in.
I don't know.
I mean, we are part
I
of the
can't speak for
city, so therefore, I mean, the city has to, the city approved that fountain. It's there right now, the city doesn't want to do anything with it. I mean, I think it's disappointing, we're in Mossburg, which they don't own it anymore. If you look at that walkway, it's beautiful, they have hydrangea trees and it's gorgeous. I do walk that a fair amount now that they cleaned it up. I think it's disappointing that the city would leave an eyesore like that in there, but I also think it's disappointing that the city won't, address the lights, or hopefully they do in the capital improvement plan. But if we want to I don't want to do something that the city is, I don't want to fight the city on something. So if the city is like, we don't have time or money or energy to do that right now, then let's look at a project that the city can support us in, so we can be a happy family and not a dysfunctional family.
And I think,
I agree that the DDA maybe shouldn't be addressing this, so maybe that's a recommendation, that, or just something that we take to council and say, we've decided that this really is a city issue, like the crumbling sidewalk in front of my house, though, the city replaced that because it was a trip hazard and dangerous. So I think in the same token, the city should
we have
take
that
all this out and
sidewalk
just pave
millage.
it. But the city takes care of their property, they should take care of this, right?
Yeah, I mean, and I want to always be in partnership with the city and for us to help where we can, but if this is not an area of concern, then indeed we should put our efforts where.
Well, just some background too, Rachel and Cindy had this vision of Merchants Walkway being like a place where there'd be like jazz concerts on a Sunday morning, but I just feel like, why would you have a jazz concert there if you could have it by water,
Right.
I just don't know that it would get used, and I mean, we could send out surveys and do all that type of thing, but I think we have so many other really cool places in the city.
We do, yeah.
If you look at what Charlevoix done, that's where I think they were going. I mean, Charlevoix took a dirty, dingy alleyway and turned it into something that people use all the time now. So that's, I think, where they were trying to go. But again, I agree that we should find projects that are in partnership with the city, so we can actually work together on it,
Great. Okay.
So I mean, I think getting the price, if they ever do come out, would be great information to give to the city. Say, hey, just to remove the fountain and pave it, here's your price. I mean, that would be beneficial information. But other than that, I don't want you to spend time doing a design plan for it and this and that when we can't do it.
Margo.
Hey,
Hi, state rep, how's it going?
Well, hi, everybody.
Hi, John.
So, yeah, we can move on.
hey, wait, don't get out that door that quickly. Any update for us from the Attorney General's office on thoughts on our TIF?
No, I'll check into it. No, I haven't heard anything, but you haven't got it back from Schmidt still then? Huh?
Nothing.
All right, I'll check into it, because he had taken the lead on that. Maybe we need to take the lead on it.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, okay, good.
We would greatly appreciate it.
We would.
I will, I know. Who was it though? It is an issue though, that, they're aware, so, Mike over at, Mike, Reeves keeps saying to say hi to Margo. I've had meetings with him and other things, and I forgot how they know each other.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he keeps saying this, so because then one person said, yeah, we've been working with them on the TIF. He said, oh, that's right. So we'll work on it. Yeah, I'll find out. Okay.
Margo says hi too, and where's our money?
Yeah, I call that relation too. He's such a nice guy. So but he keeps saying this, and
I just read it.
then they told me why they keep saying it, how they know you.
We'll expect an answer by 3 p.m.
I'll get on it. Yeah.
So what if,
See you, John.
what if we did just, whenever Margo, tells council about the, tree base thing? Why don't we just say that we've looked into the, Merchants Walkway and we think really it's kind of a city maintenance issue. And, we would, our recommendation is that the city, just take out the fountain and take out the brickwork.
Do whatever it is to make
And
it safe.
just maintain it
not
the
an
same
eyesore.
way
Let's
they
go
would
on.
a sidewalk in the city.
It is in our plan, but these plans are written far out. The last one was 5. This one we're in right now is a 5-year plan. It's easy for us to note as we come to review all those, that we did great study and decided it was time to take a different path. And that's just fine. So I'm more than happy to proceed like this.
So we'll wait to see what council
Yeah.
thinks about it.
Yeah. They want our
And
help.
then
We're here.
council may say, okay, Victor, we'd like you to proceed with paving this.
Yeah.
And Margo, do you want to send out those pictures before their meeting so they can look at them? I don't know. It's just-
What-
it might-
When are we going to present this to council? What's the best timing for them?
I don't know. I haven't talked to Victor yet as
Okay.
far as when we're coming back for the flowers, but I think these are two separate.
They are two separate things.
And either way.
Yeah. Okay. Great conversation. Thank you. Particularly Brian and Matt. Thanks for your direction on this. Okay, promotions.
So promotions is very light. We just need to, the promotions committee needs to start meeting. I talked to Nikki, and we want to get the promotions committee going, starting to work on some of the Ice Fest things. Right now, we need to have a committee meeting for Ice Fest, develop materials, sponsorship materials for Ice Fest 2022, and determine, will we try to expand the festival, make it larger? I know that's something we've talked about. And are we thinking that we're going to try to pursue a chili cook-off for this year? So those are all the things that we need to be thinking about. I see Brian's already shaking his head.
Okay.
That's where we are on the Ice Fest. So
Okay.
if you have any thoughts on that, please let the promotions committee.
I think the Ice Fest should absolutely continue. I think it was extremely well received by the majority of those that were in town for the weekend and for many of the merchants. And we also made some money off of it. And it was not too hard to sell a $350 sculpture, for sure.
It's a gorgeous setting for us.
I think it brought a lot of people downtown, and that helps all the restaurants and businesses.
Yeah, I'd like to see the chili cook-off go up, come back.
That was
You
fun.
would?
Well, it was the first year we had that, part of it was just so cold out that to go inside there and warm up with the chili was a nice treat.
Yeah, but Ice Fest is a good event. Chili cook-off, you make a little money off it. And I guess while we're on promotions, I think Bonnie has proved that doing stuff at Marina Park, she's done it all for free, but like the jelly rolls thing, there are 1,000 people there.
That was great.
If you could have charged a cover
Yeah.
and get them to volunteer their time, that's a missed opportunity for us to
Yeah,
try and make some money.
That's an interesting idea.
it is.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be jelly, actually jelly rolls would be a good choice because
Yeah,
anyone over the age of 30 is gonna be there.
and we did
For
that
sure.
twice this year. We did one Street Music
Yeah.
once too, and that State Street was just packed.
Yeah.
They were at the Legion last Friday.
Yeah.
Last year was a huge crowd there.
Yeah.
For the weather.
Do they charge for that at the Legion?
I don't know.
Someone donated,
Someone donated, yeah.
donated the money for the bands. But, I think something, doing events like that
Great idea.
has been good. With the being able to drink in the park, people are really excited about
They
that.
are.
Matt, how do you feel about the amateur part of the chili cook-off?
It's fine with me, I like it.
We only had
It's hard, it's difficult for them.
two the last.
It's very difficult because they have to do everything there.
I think I would probably not, if we continue with the chili cook-off, just because all of you that have your own license, then that is applicable if you're doing the chili cook-off in the community center. But for those, I can't remember her name, from the health department, she had to be there the whole time, and really watch the amateur and make sure that everything was being done.
Michelle Dell.
Yeah, and so that was very time consuming and tedious, I would say, as far as getting that.
I don't remember her being there.
Bill and Eileen, somebody had to watch, and maybe it was Bill and Eileen from the.
I think she said that it would be okay if they kept an eye.
I was there. I was there
Or maybe you.
and I
I
watched the one amateur who was a professional. I literally watched her for like 45 minutes and then
I know we
I
had
was
to
like,
have
what
somebody
am I-
there. I mean, I don't know whether it was you or Bill, and I mean, but somebody had, in that process, had to be there because there were amateurs there.
Why don't we go talk about this as a committee and
Yeah.
probably lean to not doing it unless,
but they had to prove literally a receipt where they bought their meat from.
I know,
It was
it's-
ridiculous, you know?
cumbersome.
And I'll just say my initial objection here is based on not so much having the chili cook-off in as much as I had a lot of complaints from families about how it was put out there, and they thought they'd get in and be able to feed their kids lunch instead of just tasting chili. And so
That's an advertising thing.
it's an advertising thing, and that's my only objection to it, is just make sure we've got a clear message as to what it is. You know, people know what they're tasting chili, they're not going in to have a big bowl.
One bowl.
And that's for the committee to put out there and all that.
They didn't have one bowl, they had 10 little ones.
Yeah, I know.
So, but Brian, those are the exact same people that walk around on open house and feed their entire family, so.
We can work on that, that's a great point though.
It's just something you hear you have to address, or, you know.
I think Josh is right. If we market it
Yeah,
Yeah.
10.
I think it's a great, anything we can do to grow Ice Fest to get people downtown.
Yeah.
100%
Great
behind
idea.
it. It's what we're here for.
Tastes of chili, not
well, the chili cook-off
Your
it's not a chili
breakfast,
dinner,
lunch,
it's a
and
chili
dinner.
cook-off. So I think we need to explain what that means.
It's
Yeah.
just, but that can be refined.
Yeah, that can be
in committee.
Okay, let's move that one into committee.
Okay,
Okay, next up, looks like it's Rachel.
Again, try this again. So the Marina Park Committee and the Parks Department are holding a fall festival. It's gonna be at Marina Park Saturday, October 2nd. It's gonna be 11 to 2 p.m. We're kind of in the works of working through donations and a budget for the event. But we're gonna have like caramel apple dipping, a donut eating contest for kids. We're gonna bring in a tractor and like decorate some scarecrows for like photo ops. We'll have cornhole, like the game box, a food vendor. And then I'll bring this to city council at their next meeting with more details.
can I ask,
Yeah.
why a food vendor with all the restaurants that are around? Just being,
Just hot dogs.
Because people don't want to
Yeah,
go
the hot
inside.
dog. Hot dog part.
If it's a nice day,
Yeah.
why would you go inside?
I got my deck.
There's gonna be a fundraiser for the skate
Tables on
park.
your deck.
Nate's gonna be there and
What?
You don't have any tables on your deck anymore.
I have 5.
Oh, boy. There's going to be 20 people, and there's gonna be a couple thousand, hopefully. Or a
What's
thousand.
the time that you say?
11 to 2.
Thanks.
we're gonna have a giant mountain of hay bales for the kids to climb up.
Yeah.
Oh,
Also
cool.
hay slide down there.
Oh, cool.
It's the 18th.
Okay, so a couple before.
Yeah.
And then the second is a Saturday.
Yep, and then our rain date would be the 9th, which would be the following Saturday.
We're gonna decorate the park. We're gonna do like
Fun.
corn stalks and all the lamp posts, and we're gonna buy some mums and.
Yeah.
Cool.
We'll have mums planned in the park
Great.
for the event. That'll be.
We
like
are
October.
changing out the petunias that look terrible at the park too, by the way, and doing mums in the next week or two.
Excellent. Oh, great idea. Thank you. Okay, Margo, director update.
Just a couple of things on my update. We had a couple of trees on 3rd Street that needed repairs, and those went out, and we had holiday lighting come in, and those got handled. Brew Fest 2021 is officially canceled. The insurance rider has been refunded, the Taylor rental has been refunded. I'm not sure, I can check with Nikki as far as any other porta potties, things like that, that she, and any other deposits that she had made, but everything else should be done. And then my only other thing is that I am putting out reminders, fall reminders to businesses, and if we have any reminders that I know we did have an issue with some trash this summer of people disposing their business trash in the city trash bins. And when I reached out to those people, one of them informed me that she had to do that because it was part of her aesthetic for her business, that she couldn't have any trash in her building at all, in her space. And so we have
Oh, boy.
some small reminders like that. I don't know if we have any others that need to be included. I'm happy to share them.
Did that work for her?
No.
Did the city give her a pass on that?
Hopefully I sent it your way, that I don't know if you've had to speak to her again, but.
I did not. That one on my radar right now. Not a big deal.
There's a couple bins out in front of my shop.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
There you go.
came on.
So if we have any fall messages that would like to go to any of the downtown businesses, please let me know. I will see if the city wants, if they have any messages, but if they have any thoughts.
Don't forget to take care of the snow on your sidewalk. That's always a good reminder.
Can we spend 2 seconds and celebrate the fact that we just discussed the fall festival in under 30 seconds?
Yeah,
Yes.
Thank you, Rachel.
I know.
Thank you, Rachel.
It's because it's not our event.
Yeah.
No, that's my point.
three cheers for Rachel.
No, but there's DDA people on the
Yeah, but
committee.
that's a committee,
so,
yeah, and the work's been done elsewhere.
It's
It's
just
3-member committee.
It's fantastic.
Actually, I think we talked about the Brewfest shorter and shorter period of
Yeah.
time.
Cancel it.
Yeah.
Next year.
You know what would be, this is, when you talk about reminders, that if people would just clean in front of their businesses, like, you go to like other cities and you see them out there, even in St. John's, where they don't have the foot traffic, there's like 4 or 5 businesses that are out there every morning with a power, what do you call it, blower, taking.
Or a broom, yeah.
If we would just do that, I walk downtown all the time and you see like there's wrappers and stuff like that. I know, yeah, it would just be a nice reminder to please your own area in front of your business.
I've seen Brian take a broom all the way down the block before.
I have too, and I get, there's a couple other businesses on the other side, they're out there in the morning that I see, take care of it, it would be a nice thing. I would like to see us, like as a city, like run our sweeper down there once a week. Just as a, like on a given day at 6 in the morning, we're gonna run our street sweeper down the sidewalk or the edge of not the sidewalk, but the curb, just to get the garbage out.
Yeah.
Because it could look, there's other cities that get a whole lot more foot traffic than we. You go to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, I know that's like a big tourist town, but they wash their sidewalks in the morning, 1 day a week. And it makes it so much cleaner.
Yeah, it does. That's a
That's
good
a really
point.
good point.
Yeah, we can look at that.
But you don't need to add something, but even if just a reminder to the
Yeah.
business, please should hear in front of your business.
Great.
For the first time,
Get the neighbor to pick up the paper, let's say drop off, and
Yeah.
she unlocks her door and never looks outside, those chamber
What's the
books sit
church?
out front there
Oh,
all 3 weeks.
Tree lighting and is that the chamber? Tree lighting?
The actual ceremony, the chamber.
Okay, and emergency open house?
Yeah.
Okay.
for the first time that I can remember in at least 10 years, I don't believe any of the sidewalk, not the sidewalks, the curbs or any of the parking spaces were repainted this year. I actually called Victor after Memorial Weekend because ours are looking pretty shabby. Did you?
I don't know what the schedule is for that.
I don't know if that's I don't know if that's every other or if I've not been around.
It's every 3, but let's look into that.
They painted the yellow line this year in front of my driveway.
Yeah, they did some of that stuff.
Very helpful because, we had multiple people block that driveway. I was actually pulled up to turn right into my driveway and a little old couple of 80 years old parallel parked in there. Like, serious. So then like, they're gonna know this when they get out, and they're gonna see there's a driveway there. They
No,
both get out, shut the doors and start walking down the sidewalk. So I said, I got out, I'm like, excuse me, would you mind moving that block of that driveway? Oh, I'm sorry. But the yellow line, nobody's parked there since the yellow line's been there.
Let's just ask about that. Good question. Other updates? No, then we are set for our next meeting, which is October 7th. We'll have a couple of committees meeting in the meantime. So we'll report back on that and then also let us know when Victor would like a report up to city council so that we can be there if needed.
Two things on this. So, do we talk about finances? I always think it'd be a good idea to have a report on finances. We don't have to do it
Can
this
we do that in
time,
October?
but in October, just how much money we have and costs. I want to keep track of where we are so we are fiscally
Yeah,
responsible.
we do have a finance committee.
And then,
When you take over as chairman.
and then, the other thing is the lights on Third Street. So we'll have to talk about that because after 5 years or so, they do have to replace and the price tag on it 20,000. So if the DDA's, we're gonna continue with that. We have to look at when we do the finance, like, okay, let's do that.
Did you get those, did you get the broken ones fixed?
Yes.
Did I miss that?
Yeah.
Okay, all
Like
right,
that.
fixed.
Lynn's.
We are scheduled to do our second public meeting in October.
That's right.
I mean,
We can meet just as a finance committee and talk about
Yeah, let's
that.
just do that.
Add that as an update.
And report back up to the board.
Yeah.
Okay, good idea.
I'd like to see an evening meeting. So that those that say they can't make it because they're always at work. I'd love to see a room full of people that are interested enough to come and hear what we're doing for their city
Another thing
and serve refreshments.
we also discussed it a year or so ago as COVID was in place, some kind of downtown business owners gathering. Used to be merchants. Name was called merchants, but we didn't do it. We have not done it because of the gathering issues. But maybe in October, we should look at doing that, Margo. And just updating some of the things we discussed here this morning, some of the maintenance issues, the trash issues. What's going forward with the DDA might be a good idea, especially as we're leading into next year and looking at renewing the special assessment. Constant
Merchants
communication.
Association,
I wouldn't call,
which is what it was.
yeah,
That turned into the business committee for.
yeah, it's just time, and there's a lot of businesses downtown now that are different than that, maybe, I think it's time. If it's safe for us to gather.
I don't think you should consider doing it until at least the third week of October, knowing business around,
Yeah,
just my
Yeah.
opinion.
okay. Anything else for us this morning?
Gotta go to
We
work.
did it right at an hour. Thank you all for being here and you'll probably all be involved in some kind of committee next month and we'll see you back here on October 7th.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
If you want to.
Here you go. Yeah. I'll set up the rest.
It's so hard.
Good.